Hi, and welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. Today we have Yevgeny Dibrov, who is the co-founder and CEO of Armis Security. Armis, valued at about 3.4 billion, has more than 150 million in ARR in 5 years. Congrats for that. Named one of the fastest growth trajectories in the space. In 2023, the Inc. 5000 and the Deloitte Technology Fast 500. Also used by more than 35 of the Fortune 100 companies. Really excited to have you here today. Thanks for joining, and want to hear more about Armis.
Thank you, Karen, and great meeting you, and excited about this discussion.
Terrific. Thanks again for making time. So we were saying before we went live, between airplanes and just doing a great job. So thanks for making this work. Yeah. So tell us more about Armis. You're the co-founder. What's your USP? How did you arrive at it? What's your space?
Yeah. So really, when I look back in around early 2016, when myself and Nadir Israel, who is our CTO and my co-founder, when we really started the Armis journey. We really started from talking to as many CIOs, CISOs, IT managers, plant engineers, as many as possible, to hear about their toughest problems, challenges, etc., that they're handling all the time, their biggest pains. And we really focused on critical challenge that we were seeing that like almost every business was facing back then, and today are even more, really to help organizations to continuously see, protect, and manage every asset, every critical asset in their organization, whether it's a physical asset, virtual asset, IT, OT, medical device, cloud asset, virtual, etc. Doing that in one single place, in really every single vertical that you can think of, from airlines to CPGs to government agencies to manufacturing, hospitals, and everybody, really helping them to keep like the critical infrastructure and economies in general stay safe, protect those critical environments, and making sure they're up and running, secured against any ransomware and any threat, and allowing all the needed really tools to, again, see every asset and protect it.
Oh, so that's a broad mandate, and certainly one in a rapidly changing space we can talk about in a bit. But how did you stand the company up to deal with such a broad space?
Yeah, so it was a lot of focus, really, I would say, two main things. One is always to focus on the customer need, really to understand always what the customer needs. And again, going vertical by vertical, understanding the exact pain, really understanding the exact pain from, again, visibility, around threat management, risk management, vulnerability management, exactly in those areas. Let's say understanding with a manufacturing company, what exactly is the challenge, right? Diving deeper into, okay, I can't see what I really have in my plant, and how do we help you? How do we go and look at that specific plant, dive deeper, show you every single device that you have there, the make, model, OS, exactly, provide a context of the risk, vulnerabilities, any issues that are associated with that device, and how can we really help to detect a threat and respond to this. And this we've done this process, whether with every manufacturing environment, distribution centers, in general, retail stores. Retail, there's a huge gap in visibility of understanding what's going on there. Also, when we are looking at hospitals, clinics, in general, HDOs, you look at what's going on in those environments. They're targeted always with ransomware, and organizations can't really protect those because they have great protection for, on one hand, the laptop servers, you have antiviruses on them, the next-gen antiviruses, and then the 99% of assets, there is no real protection for the organization. So we really start with, again, visibility to those environments. It can be airports, it can be ports, it can be data centers, really every environment across almost every vertical, to understand what do they have in that environment and how do we help protect that.
So I think you coined this as attack surface management, right? How do you differ from your competition in this field?
So we've always been focusing on building a platform which is not one product. And when we look today at the Armis platform, it really is comprised of 5 different products that build this. Really, one main one is OT IoT security. When really we focus on, it can be a manufacturing environment and it can be an airport, on this operational technology environment to make sure that they're up and running, providing deep visibility into every single protocol and every single device, make sure that everything is up and running and protected. Medical device security, it's big focus again on medical environment, hospitals, etc., biomed environments with protecting MRIs, infusion pumps, etc. We also focus a lot. Another product is our asset management and something that Gartner would call CASM. This is a product that focuses on really aggregating from hundreds of different sources, providing in one source of truth for the organization from an inventory and asset management perspective, helping them really deduplicate every single source of asset that they have, from IT to OT to cloud, virtual code, and one single source of truth in one place. This is something that enables really every security operations centers, vulnerability management teams, with every incident, really go and understand the context of, I have an IP address. Okay, here is this asset. This is the owner. Here is who should I work to tackle this problem. So this is the third product. The fourth product is around vulnerability prioritization and remediation. Again, helps vulnerability management, security operations centers really aggregate every single finding vulnerability from all their tools, from the endpoint security tools, from the scanners, from, let's say, Armis on the OT, from all the cloud security solutions, code, really across all your environment. Put every single finding that you have, help remediate, first prioritize, and then remediate. Imagine that organization has tens or hundreds of millions of findings every day. How to help that organization to really focus on what's the most important per the asset context, per the business context. And because Armis has this asset management layer that sometimes our customers would call us the Google Maps of their environment, we can really help prioritize those issues per the specific organization need, and also help kick off remediation workflows and really help solve these issues and solve these vulnerabilities for the organization. The fifth product is really around threat intelligence, early warning systems for new vulnerabilities that are coming out, really help, I would say, power the threat intel teams of the organization, superpower them, focus on specific knowledge of threat hunting for operational technology environment, medical environment, etc. as well. So really build this platform of 5 different products that today 50% of our customers would use 2 products, and around 15 would use 3 products and more. The ability to provide you not just one specific point solution, but really the ability to grow with Armis, to solve different problems. Having one single platform solve the problem of your asset management, problem for securing, let's say, the manufacturing environment for the organization, and solve all findings across the board from all different environments. So customers stay with us. They also push us to build more, to solve more different problems for them. And also per specific product, Karen, we are investing a lot in our Armis Labs team, which is a team of our cybersecurity researchers, data analysts, really focus on making sure that we are always ahead of the competition 18 to 24 months in every single product, leveraging, again, the best product R&D and research organizations.
Wow. So let's talk more about sort of Armis Labs, but sort of in general, what are the biggest threats that you see sort of beyond, we know there's ransomware today and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I recently JP Morgan released the number of attempts on their systems every day, and it seems like it's like in the billions. It was an enormous number. But what are some of the biggest threats in cybersecurity today? And then what are some trends that you're seeing that maybe your labs group is working on to sort of stay in front of?
Yeah. Also, we are definitely seeing a lot. Imagine that we as armies today are protecting and monitoring the day in a life of around 4.2 billion devices around the world. So everything that these devices are doing, we're monitoring,
See.
we are learning from every single environment, and then any customer around the world really benefits a lot from what we are learning. And in every place that we are detecting a new attack, this is a knowledge that passes across all our knowledge base and all the different environments that we are protecting immediately. So what we can see a lot is a lot of attacks on critical infrastructure. When we talk about Russia, North Korea, Iran, China, they're actively attacking a lot of these environments, because basically those are the most critical environments for nations. This is where the biggest damage they can make. And also these environments usually would have the oldest systems, oldest devices, oldest operating systems that have been there for a long time. A lot of devices, again, when you think about oil and gas, pipelines, manufacturing environments, hospitals, it's really hard to patch those environments. So there is a new approach needed, but definitely those countries are targeting these environments, and we are seeing that a lot and learning from that a lot. And our Armis labs are investigating a lot of these attacks. That's what we see a lot. We also starting to see more and more a trend of leveraging AI in threats and attacks on the organization. Basically, AI represents a new scale for the attacker. Imagine if before, like with even a simple tool, attacker can really replicate it 100 and 1,000 times, launch it across many environments, like many different IPs, locations, etc. And this is something that we are starting to see more and more in environments. And again, our estimation that this is just the beginning. I would say the good news is that when we look at AI in general, when basically on the defense side, the team will be able to actually protect better against, because of the prior knowledge of the environment. The team that has on the defensive side knows the environments, knows all the context, knows all the different places, so they can leverage AI in their own perspective to defend much better. So this will be again a race, but we really believe that the defense side will have a significant advantage here.
Yeah, well, glad to hear it, because it's AI is an amazing tool, and we're, have so much unfolding in front of us and will continue for a while. But just the possibilities in terms of both of the attacks in general using AI and how they'll be able to leverage that can be a little scary. And so glad to hear that you have confidence in the defense as well. Talk a little bit about Armis itself. So co-founder, I know you have a history of software and firmware engineering, your background. You've led several companies to successful exits. How did you set up the culture within Armis, and what is the company culture like there?
So we really, from a culture standpoint, and definitely we are here more than 8 years at Armis. I can tell you, Karen, it's the most exciting journey possible. And what I've learned mostly, it's really all about people. It's all about people. It's all about the team that you ensemble like together here, from a leadership to all different levels. And I think that bringing the best team, and also incorporating super important values like transparency and integrity. This is something that when you go for a long run, we are really not at a sprint here, we are at a marathon. They're super important. It's about people that employees that should trust myself, should trust my co-founders, should trust our executive team in terms of the direction of the organization, in terms of why we make specific decisions in a case A or a case B. It's always for us transparency and integrity. It's top priority. Also, when we build a team, the team has to be built with a thought about diversity and inclusion. We need to have different opinions in the room. People that are not always think the same as myself or Nadir or others. That different background is really, really important. And this is key when we are hiring across the board in Armis. This is something that we are always thinking about, and really when we are focusing as us as an executive and leadership team, this is how the company operates. This is how we become best. This is how we become best and achieving what do we do. And I would say also the winning culture, winning as a team. We win together. We have our number one value at Armis is called One Armis, and we win as a team. And the winning culture, we really focus on how do we win, how do we make sure we execute the best and get to the best achievements that really our customers benefit and have the best protection in the world possible.
Yeah, that's great. I just want to say a few more words about this idea of having people who think differently than you do. It's so much easier, and it seems faster if we all think alike, right? You can just decide and agree and move forward and get the thing done. And the problem, of course, as you know, is that you have big blind spots. If this is the only thing that matters, then go do that. But if you're trying to do something where there's a lot of ambiguity and you need to know what those blind spots are, you have to have people who think differently than you do. And it just takes longer. It's just part of the process. How does that actually work? You must be really good at dealing with conflict within the organization.
So for me, it's always important to hear everyone in the organization. When I look at, I want to hear feedback from every single part of the organization, and I also ready to learn from it. Take a feedback and embrace that feedback. And even if the feedback is not nice, even if it's not, fun to hear, this is something that is important if we want to make this business a huge success when we are going to the goal of getting to the 500 million in revenues and $1 billion in revenues. This is we will be myself. I'll be the best CEO, or our leadership team will be the best leadership team if they will always listen. I've learned a lot from people on the product marketing team, on the channel team, our SDRs, on the sales team, R&D, product, CS. I think that I'm learning every day in every meeting that you should try and hear your employees and what they're seeing, what they think is wrong, what is not working as it should be. This is something that I'm doing sometimes just a day in the office, spending time and just hearing the everything from whether it can be a product process issue or something that happens during I don't know how do we manage RFPs that we do for a customer. This is from my perspective the best way to learn and how to be better, and also take all this feedback together, and of course with what I'm learning from our customers. I think that always our customer advisory board is really an amazing organization that we really shape our roadmap and our vision together with our customers. I really call them partners in the journey with us, and this is another aspect that I think that you need to be able to hear, because we, of course, always have our our vision on the product, go-to-market side, but we need to listen. And listening to our customers here is, again, unique and something that has benefited a lot during the journey. And this is also mine, Nadir, my co-founder, and our leadership team guidance to everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's no better way to, or better input to your prioritization, right, than understanding what's going on with your customers. Certainly you would have input from the technical and what you're learning, as we discussed earlier, from the attacks, but understanding from your customers, it's got to be an important stream. Really, really glad to hear that. So I know, as I mentioned earlier, you've been part of several successful companies, including successful exits. I think it's an investor, maybe to Cisco and HPE. Can you talk a little bit about sort of your leadership journey? I think, did you start off as a software engineer, maybe, and now found your way to CEO?
Yeah, so the journey, definitely, it's a long journey. Started early during my days in the Israeli intelligence in unit 81, the technology unit of the special forces here. Journey there was a lot around on the software engineering side, also project management as well. I would call it also, in a way, some areas of, I would call, like business development areas, as well, of a lot of cooperation between units that is always a key for big success. This is the place where I got to know Nadir, my co-founder, as well, and actually a cooperation between two units. We got the Israeli Defense Prize, which is the highest achievement for projects that gotten benefited a lot to national security as well. After that, I also completed my degree. My degree is in electrical engineering and computer science from the Technion, which is like the Israeli MIT. Started to work as a firmware engineer at a company called Mellanox, today Nvidia, as well. So firmware product as well there. And basically, in my last year of studying, basically I got an amazing opportunity to join a great team of 3 co-founders, where the CEO was my former team leader in the army, that told me, Yevgeny, there is something exciting happening. We have a great idea, and investor conversations are moving fast. It was in late 2012. And basically, I left Mellanox. I still had almost a year to finish my degree, but it was an amazing opportunity because the 3 co-founders were amazing, and it was a unique opportunity to join as a first employee. Back then, I was 24 years old.
Great, that's great.
Joined back then in a startup with founders that I really trust, with the Sequoia joining as an investor. And basically, I joined on title-wise. I was VP of Business Development, but basically, it was a chance to be involved in every stage of a startup. I call it the best MBA possible, because it was everything from, sales engineering, our first POVs with companies, learned, sales, marketing, everything from a lot of executives that we hired, learned a lot about raising money as well back then. And my latest position there was managing all our business in EMEA and APAC in 2015. And basically, in between July and September was the final signature of the deal. We basically sold the company to Microsoft, the company called Datalom, sold it to Microsoft for $320 million, which was after a bit less than 3 years of
Congratulations. Yeah.
It was a
terrific story.
Great journey, great story, amazing execution by the team. Learned a lot from the co-founders, learned a lot from a lot of the people that we hired. And for me, there was no question what I want to do as a next step. I left 40% of my retention to Microsoft. And so the day that we signed the deal, basically I left and called already, like several days ago before, called Nadir, who was at Google at these days, and told him now it's time to start something together. And like that's where we started the conversations and the Armis journey.
Oh, what a great story. I don't want to encourage people to drop out of school, but just
I
this, I mean,
actually, so I didn't drop out of school. I just to complete that story. So I had still a
okay.
year, and I was my last year. The Technion was I basically was coming only on Sunday to
Yep.
the mostly labs. I still had 3 labs that I need to complete. Every other course was actually I was learning during the weekends and just arriving to the exams. So that was my last two
Oh, that's great.
semesters. But,
Yeah.
it was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. I was just reflecting when I was at Compaq, I was halfway through my MBA and I ended up not thought I can either get this degree or I can do this job. And I chose to do the job where I learned, I believe, as much as I would have learned in those classes. But I love that you went back and finished
Yeah.
and you were able to finish. That's great. Well, thank you so much. I love this journey that you're on and all the sort of the brilliance and enthusiasm that you and your team are bringing to it. I wish you all the best in the future and good luck.
Thank you so much, Karen. I really, really enjoyed the conversation with you, and have a great day and looking forward to many more.
Great. Take good care.